Yeah, this is all of that. This is Joanne. Hey, Joanne. Yeah, you have to go after that, my dear. Go out and clean up the guts, get the kidneys going, get the adrenals up. Then you got something to drain there. And if you have sulfur, that's another one right on top of that. Oh, boy, I tell you, these things get more involved and more involved. But I just tell you, if you have orange around the pupil, you've got sulfur, you've got to get a little of that out of there before you're going to drain. Now, you might try to ear candle your ears maybe to give you a little bit of a reprieve there, but, you know, one guy candled his ears and his sinuses just broke loose. Other people have done it and not seen that. So I don't know. It's certainly worth a try to open everything up. But definitely the 3-lung tea, it's a simple tea, three herbs in there, and go after it that way. Chew on horseradish root or something like that. Be careful with too much of the peppers, though. Overstimulation of mucosa maybe causes too much mucus. The lymphatic formulas for sure. You can use them in the neti pot, but a little bit on the strong side. Oh, this is extra worldly. Beautiful picture. It's been a wonderful year of videos. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I really do, guy. Thanks you, Extra Worldly. I appreciate that. I'm trying to do the godly thing and get you guys all straightened around and, you know, put the God back in the picture in terms of higher consciousness. You can call it whatever you want. But we've got to get the love principle and the joy principle back to the planet again, if it ever was here in any kind of depth. But it's time. This planet suffered long enough. But it could be a hellhole for people to get their karma worked through. But at the same time, all of us are working together as a team to bring the light, love, and joy and happiness. And that's what we're going to do. Come hell or high water. Oh, light worker. Big aura there. Yeah, that's those are the images I love right there. The God person, totally immersed in the surrendering to the Supreme Being or the Creator. I don't like the word Supreme Being either. I like the Supreme. Like who was that? Bruce Willis and the Supreme Being, the Fifth Element. Now that was a good-looking Supreme Being. What do you think about taking Diatonaceous Earth for elimination of parasites for us humans? Is it safe? I would rather do a parasite formula, actually, to get rid of parasites. Definitely. I'd rather do like a parasite M and G formula where you're getting up into the good herbs for all that. Absolutely. Great worm killer, great detoxifier in that way. I think it more than safe to go that way. I don't see any problem with the earth that way too, but I'm a little concerned with its heaviness of inorganics. But again, you know, I do like the botanicals. I really like to go to the botanicals. Better, safer for us, because I'll have a whole pound of it. Oh, ew. Well, Brian, use it up a little bit, maybe a little at a time, or give it to a friend who you want to obstruct their bowels. No, I don't know. Use it up. Got a whole pound of that, baby. That's quite a bit. I'm just real cautious when it comes to, you know, some inorganic stuff. I don't know too much about. I've never put a lot of attention on this, so you're probably asking the wrong guy, but I'm real cautious about anything that what I would deem more inorganic, but I don't know the whole story about it. I do like using botanicals. I never use colloidal silver. Go into your botanicals. You'll broad range kill. Iron Cobra 22. Did you see, again, I like that on American Idol. And I said at the same time, I said at the same time Stephen did, who's that drummer? Now they got that black drummer up front of the stage. Butt-kicking drummer. And I bet this Iron Cobra is too. This is Healing Power of the Body question. Hi, Dr. Morris. I am resubmitting my question. Thank you. I have a question about the healing power of the human body. My question is, how does a body know to cure, fix things in different parts of the body? Well, like in my example, herniation of the esophagus. Remember that well, my friend. Lump in throat. Probably have something in the lump, and we're going to use the word muci. So, one day maybe you'll cough that lump out. But it is herniating the esophagus for sure. How does it know that the problem is in my throat? Good question. I have to tell you the word is going to be intelligence or consciousness. You know, what's the problem with man, I think, is he's like the Rush Limbaugh. And is chickens meant to eat, or do they have consciousness? And he did a segment on this one time. Does chickens have consciousness, or are they just designed for man's eating pleasure? Now, that was Rush Limbaugh, so you know what the answer was to that one. Basically, they're for man's eating pleasure. Quite frankly, the chicken is a very smart animal. You know, the thing is, there's intelligence, and there was something on the news last night that really drove that home, the intelligence of all life, including at the cellular level. Your assumption is the body is unaware and it doesn't know anything, and yet the body is totally aware and knows everything. Matter of fact, your brain can communicate supposedly with every cell simultaneously. And it's through this gigantic nervous systems that your body does all this. Communication, frequencies, colors, consciousness, conditions. Everything is wrapped in within consciousness. From the state, from the weaknesses, to the colors, to the frequencies, everything. It's an incredible look. Everything is conscious, is aware. Man sees things as being aware, dead, all these things. There's nothing dead. And nothing dies. Can't kill anything. You can't make anything cease to exist. You can change the form. How does it know that also, does it matter if the problem is created internally or through injury? No. It's all about the consciousness of a cell, and this guy knows about it. The problem is that when you're dealing in cells, they're at the disposal of the two fluids. That's how I get my hormones, steroids, neurotransmitters to communicate with me. Now, I do have a nervous system there that communicates, but it also deals with cells and the two fluids. So here we go, the cells and the two fluids. You get the cells healthy through the two, cleaning up the two fluids. But I can tell you that this is all very conscious stuff. Your body is very intelligent, takes itself to the brink, very rarely kills itself, but it has happened. Like in my case, it is a condition that came up because of an injury. I threw up numerous times after eating meat, which herniated the esophagus. Now that's possible, but if you did, you've got a weakness in that esophageal wall, because that created the herniation. I threw up a lot. The other day I had food poisoning. I threw up, and that's just from a salad. And I threw up on the hour, every hour. I didn't herniate my throat. How come you did? And the bottom line to that is it weakens. Now the meat probably sucked the calcium out, but now the terms of the weakness within that area to make it herniate. See, your cells can take a lot, but when they can't, they herniate or whatever, and that's what you're seeing. Could lead you to some parathyroid weakness where your connective tissue wasn't that weak. Could be a genetic weakness due to some other factors down the family trees. Could be a host of things there. But I can tell you within that is mucus. You will find and see one day you'll get a sore throat, you'll spit up a big wad of mucus, and that herniated area will disappear. Does the body pretty much fix any type of inflammation? That's the problem. The body is limited to the ability of cells to function. Make sense? Because the cells are what makes up all the tissues. So it's up the functionability of a cell. I've always said that the functionability of a cell is everything to your experience. And that includes the hormones and steroids and neurotransmitter pathways. It includes all these pathways. But it's always to the end all, to the health of the cell. And there's two major fluids involved in that process of getting and maintaining the health and wellness of the cell. The blood Very little flexibility involved in that fluid. A lot of flexibility in the lymph fluids. You can hold water in the fluids. There's a lot of things you can do with that lymph fluid to buffer, to do whatever you have to do to protect itself. The body can't protect itself with inflammation if the fluids aren't helping with that situation. In other words, it's the ability of the fluids to take care of inflammation or to create it, which we would go then to acidosis. Inflammation is actually an immune response. It's acidosis that's the problem. Your body can't fix acidosis when the cells are not producing enough of the goodies, like for example, neurotransmitters to turn on the kidneys to allow filtration. That would be a problem. But that goes back to the cells. But it is always the two fluids that are responsible for breaking down the cells. See what I'm saying? So it's between the cells and the two fluids. And that's why you can only get to the cell through the two fluids. And so we know we can get to the cells with the goodies, but if you have constipation, getting goodies to a cell is only part of the struggle. The other struggle is getting rid of the waste. And this is exactly what inflammation's about. This is exactly what herniation's about. Acidosis, acidosis, acidosis. So you see how all that works there. And how it's created. I would love to hear your thoughts. God bless. Same to you, Aaron Cobra. I hope that is helpful with you. But you're talking about a very aware machine here. And I hate to even use the word machine. That's insultive almost. But very aware. There's nothing unaware here. All the cells. You think the fetus is over there? Everything is aware at all times. But you can't, you have to understand that's creation. There is nothing unaware in creation. There's different levels of awareness in creation. But you still have the creator and consciousness, which is the creating force of all things. And that's who you are. So there's such an intelligence pathway to all this. But there's also blockages and restrictions that restrict the body from repairing itself. And that's quite obvious. Because if it wasn't, every cell would truly replicate. Oh, good morning. I hope this finds you well. I hope this finds you well and everybody's doing okay. Listen, a Ouija bird, call us. I gave you a number to Jennifer. I couldn't hardly hear you over my cell phone. So if you get this before Jennifer calls you, call her. But I'm telling you, you're going to have to stay away from the fruit juices. They're too strong for you. Back down, get some vegetable juices. Make yourself some vegetable broth. Find like a papaya, real soft and gentle melons. And you can do gentle whole fruit, but don't do the juices. Too strong. So Ouija bird is dealing with some extreme acid reflux, but it isn't really acid reflux. Remember, we talked about the worst kind of acid reflux, which isn't really acid reflux, or GERD. He's burning up real bad with his lymph system and can't tolerate anything hardly. I definitely would do, I know you said you got the pancreatic caps on the road to you, definitely do those, somehow get them down. Stay away from real strong fruit juices and stuff. They're just too pulling and too strong on that.